I'm loving the book.
Are
I'm
you?
loving it. I
Are
keep it
you?
close. So I'm like, wait a minute. What she said right there? Like, oh my God.
That's what's
Yeah.
up. That's what's up. So what did you
Yeah.
like about it?
Um, I like the challenge of it.
Mm.
I like that. I like, to me, it was, yeah, that took courage to step up and be like, y'all full of shit.
Oh, so you got that.
Because I've been saying it for a mighty long time. And that's why you won't see me connected to a particular ministry or in the clique or any of that stuff. And they love me. They'll have me come and preach at their little conference or, do motivational speaking and stay connected to my Facebook page for encouragement.
Mm-hmm.
However, I don't fit in there because I worship the God of my experience and not their religion. I don't do that religion stuff. Like, my God today, just being able to step up and say, you know what, I'm about to drop this and it's going to make some of y'all uncomfortable, but I'm hoping it will create a safe space for people to talk about, yeah, I got some questions about this blind faith thing. You know what I mean? I've never agreed with the elitism of some stuff. And I've always questioned it and pretty much got in trouble all the
But
time.
I mean, we come from a time where questioning was actually looked upon as disrespect, right?
Right.
From our elders, is like you don't question
Exactly.
them, and
Right.
and that was damaging. That was damaging to the community because it's like
Absolutely.
how are we supposed to show up if we're not informed,
Right.
right?
We don't have
So
a full
yeah,
understanding
if
of
you don't
what it
have
is
the
we're supposed to
information,
believe.
you can't even like that in itself. Not
Right.
informing is taking away someone's ability to utilize their choice.
Right.
They don't have the information to make a conscious decision.
Right.
So that's
Or
an
a
issue for me.
confident one.
Yeah, that's an issue for me. As well
Yeah.
as like I said in the book, um, like just going along with traditions for tradition's sake. Right?
Right.
That tradition can be fine,
Mm-hmm.
but just to go along with it when you don't truly understand what the
Right.
foundation of it is, what
Right.
it's supposed to connect to, and what it's supposed to bring to your life, and how you're
Mm-hmm.
supposed to go about it. That doesn't it never ring really true to me. I didn't
Right.
understand it, and so I wrote the book just to give people the confidence to
Mm-hmm.
ask the questions.
Right.
Um, I wrote it to make people think that are in the space of just following and saying,
I wonder why.
maybe I should ask these questions because I don't really
Right.
know the answer, right?
Right.
And I also wrote the book, to create dialogue between myself and people who are, dedicated to traditional religion,
Right.
because if you truly understand what you say that you have faith in, then
Mm-hmm.
we can have dialogue
Right.
and you can explain. And the same with me. If I'm truly understand what I say that I
Right.
understand, then I can have dialogue and explain it clearly. So,
Right.
I'm noticing that a lot of people are responding really well, and I'm happy about that.
Right. I think people are sometimes scared to say that they came up in a household that had more than one religion in it,
You think so?
for the sake of being shamed. Um, I know that when I was younger, um, my my family is, they believed in espiritismo, so spiritualism, and to have that in the home, and Catholic, and then I come out and I'm Pentecostal. And it's just like, you don't go to a Pentecostal church and tell them, oh, my grandmother was a priestess. You can't do that, because they're
Mm.
looking at you like, well, we need to pray some stuff out of you. And I'm like, but I didn't say it was me. I said it was my I said,
They like she got wrong information. We got to fix her.
yeah. So it's like, so now people come in and they're joining churches for wanting to belong,
Mm-hmm.
and that's one of the things that immediately makes them not belong or makes people judge them. But So I looked at the strengths of one's belief while conversing, and the
Mm-hmm.
absence of that same belief when they're tested made me stop and throw, something in. It's like, if you don't come through here and check these people. So my question was, did you really find that happened to you on a regular basis? And did you find, depending on like who you were talking to, did it shift your conversation or ability to connect with them where they were? Like, you had to really choose, do I try to listen and provide direction, or do I listen and leave you where I leave you right where I found you because of that?
Well, the first part of the question, being, did I find that often? I did.
Yeah.
I did find it often, that people who had strong convictions and
Mm-hmm.
what they said they believed in, they're actually able to explain it, express it really confidently. And
Right.
then life sets in,
Happens.
and everything that they spoke of kind of dwindles dwindles
Right.
away, and it's like, what happened to all of that faith that we was talking about, right?
Right.
And that's one of the things that also triggered me writing this book, is because it's like, I get it, I understand it, I
Right.
understand that we all have moments of uncertainty.
Mm-hmm.
um but I would think that if you were so uh your foundation was so solid that you
Right.
would know when to separate what you have control of versus what source has control of, right?
Right.
And so
Right.
we have things that we're control of. We have things
Mm-hmm.
that our decisions control within this life, and it's like, all right, I need to maintain this, that, and the third, and I need to get solution driven, right?
Right.
But then you have things that are completely out of your control.
Right.
And those are the moments
Right.
that your faith is being tested. Because
Absolutely.
now, not only do you not have control of it, so it's nothing you can do, but you don't
Right.
have control of the timing either.
Right.
So now, when you're worried,
Mm-hmm.
all of those things are setting in, because what can I do? You can't do anything. So
Right.
now, if you are truly connected to source, this is the time to show it.
Right.
This is the
Right.
test. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
What are your attitudes going to show up as? What are the words coming out of your
your
mouth showing up
conversation,
as?
exactly.
Right.
What is your conversation going to look like? How are you moving? Are you moving in a fierce space?
Right.
Because you know that all your interactions with God are constant.
Right.
So if you start
Right.
acting other than
Mm-hmm.
faithful,
Right.
you're going to get a different type of response.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. Yeah. So I know another one of my nuggets on the book was the fact that you stated solid ground is found in various stages of growth. And I just wanted you to kind of give, like, say more about that, where that came from, and what were some of the catalysts that brought you to a place where you were like, okay, wait, I thought I was solid, and now this next level came up, and I'm like, whoa, what's going on here?
So it's not necessarily that you go through a I thought I was solid stage, but now it's more
Mm-hmm.
of, the more that you learn, the more that you understand. So you
Right.
get to places where you like, it's like life is like a video game. And there's
Mm-hmm.
these boards, like you're passing boards and getting to the
Right.
next board. There's different obstacles every stage.
Right.
And so there's some lessons that I've learned in the past that were like key. It
Mm-hmm.
was key. It was like these lessons were so necessary to the
Right.
process of me getting to the next board. And
Mm-hmm.
then that lesson or that information can transform into a whole other situation at the next board. So it's like,
Right.
all right, I believe this then, but now I believe something different
Right.
now because I got more
Mm-hmm.
information. Now you're more informed. Like I said, you're able to make another conscious decision. So that's
Right.
why people often, speak about contradictions, and I say own contradictions, own them.
Right.
Unless
Right.
you're just purposely, saying one thing and then going to another. That's a whole different scenario. But
Right.
as we grow, we are going
Mm-hmm.
to contradict our last lesson, because
Right.
now we know something greater. You know what I
Right.
mean? And so, what is necessary for one stage may not be necessary for the next stage, but it was
Right.
key to the last stage. So you needed that
Absolutely.
information. You needed to understand that information
Mm-hmm.
to get past there. But now that you're here, you need a different set of information. So
Right.
to be completely clear, um, when I was younger, when I was
Mm-hmm.
growing up, I was not living, I was surviving.
Right.
There's some tools that you receive for survival, right?
Absolutely. Yep.
That get you by. It helps you to
Mm-hmm.
survive. It does exactly what it's there for. It
Right.
helps you to survive. But I'm
Right.
not in a stage of survival anymore,
Right.
right? And
So those
so
tools.
when you're past survival, when you're actually living and you're
Right.
enjoying this gift of life,
Right.
those tools for survival can actually be toxic in this environment.
Absolutely.
So you got to know
Absolutely.
when to shed your layers and level up.
Right. Right. Make peace with that. And always understood it like I did the best I could with what I knew to do at
At the
that
time.
time.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
then and the other thing for me is when I find myself having to start over, I never look at it like I'm starting from scratch. I'm starting with a different level of experience.
Absolutely.
So this project will be different. These choices will be different. These connections will be different because now I'm coming from, I have the lessons and the experience, and the other stuff can stay back there.
Absolutely.
You
You're
know?
looking through new lenses.
Right.
You're seeing things through a different lens, and it's much more clear through that
Right.
lens once you got all of the information. So I hope I answered your question. Did I answer
You
your question?
did.
Okay.
You did. So I know um for me, I just really feel like it's doing what you stated. You what your intention was like really creating a space for that dialogue. You know, and saying to folks, you know what, you're not the only person that um, had multiple religions or was exposed to different faith beliefs. Some militant, some not. And at the end of the day, being okay with what actually forms for you on a spiritual level and what works for you in that space. What else would you say you're trying to communicate with the book?
Well, I want I was asked this question yesterday too, and
Okay.
there's a lot of I just see a lot of unhappiness in the world, right?
Yeah.
It's like like everyone seems to be so robbed of their joy, and
Right.
what can we expect, right? If people can't connect to
Mm-hmm.
their nucleus, right?
Right.
If you can't connect to your nucleus, how do you really find footing?
Right.
And that's really the point. It's like to give a
Right.
blueprint on how to, like, what questions to ask yourself,
Mm-hmm.
um and just giving permission to ask questions,
Right.
right? And then to figure out, like, once you strip yourself down and figure out who you are at the
Right.
core of you, who you are truly. Forget
Mm-hmm.
all the stuff you heard, forget all the stuff that you say out your mouth.
Right.
Who you really are. Like, when no one is watching,
Right.
who am I? How do I
Right.
show up? Right?
Right.
And once you get a full understanding of that, it honestly helps you to understand others
Mm-hmm.
and relate to others.
Right.
So learning self helps you learn others, right? Not just that, once you learn others and learn yourself, you also understand the need for others.
Right.
Connection that is necessary. We are not meant to be here alone. We are
Absolutely.
absolutely meant to, belong.
Right.
We're looking to belong
Right.
to each other,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it changes how you start interacting with others,
Right.
which
Right.
changes the response from others and the universe, which
Right.
changes the energy that you vibrate completely. It changes everything. And
Right.
and I think that people like I said, people are hurting and they don't know what to do to stop hurting. And I
Right.
feel like I wanted just to give it's a short book. I wanted to
Right.
just give something to give an understanding of where to start. How do I
Right.
start? Where do I get started?
Those
Because I,
questions to kind of ask
yeah,
yourself and ponder and feel comfortable to say that you have these questions and how it's aligning with you. I think I've been doing that work over the pandemic. It's really like there's some things that are like just not working for me anymore, and it's okay to let them go.
that's fine. That's fine.
And just really align myself with the things that feel like they're causing growth and positivity and connection, and they are that there's possibility, right? We never want to feel stuck. And to me, the book is like, hey, there's possibility in this area too. You don't
Mm-hmm.
have to feel isolated or disconnected from folks because you feel like you need to make a choice or a decision or make statements that really do not align
Mm-hmm.
with your mind and your heart
The spirit, like,
and your spirit.
it needs to feel natural. It needs to feel like this is what I've been looking for. And once
Right.
you lock in, that's exactly what it feels like. It's freeing. It's the
Right.
most free I've ever felt.
Mhm.
Once I got to that space, is like the most freeing ever. Um, and the level of self love is like
Right.
intense because it's
Right.
like, yo, you really don't lock into nonsense anymore. Like
Right.
nothing that is outside of source
Right.
feels good. So
Right.
like the people
That's
who
it.
are not there yet,
Right.
you're not looking down upon them, but you definitely like,
You're limiting
yeah,
time.
you
You're
don't
limiting
belong in
some
my
time.
space. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All of those things start just moving around, and you kind of start making better. You just naturally start making better choices.
Right.
You know what I
And
mean?
feeling comfortable saying that I don't want that. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, and
feeling comfortable saying that,
not being
not
emotionally
fearing being
blackmailed.
rejected. Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Because like society has a lot of people emotionally blackmailed into situations that they don't belong.
Absolutely.
They
They
feel they
really
feel
do.
wrong about
Fear,
saying no.
obligation, and guilt. Mm-hmm.
They feel wrong about saying no. They
Right.
feel wrong about cutting off friendships relationships that they've had for a certain amount of time, even though that relationship was doing them no good.
Right.
Like, it's a lot of things that make you feel like trapped. And how can you
Right.
find happiness in that? You need to be able to move how your spirit feels
Right.
natural.
Right. Absolutely. So, so what's next with the book right now? Like, what else are you planning to do? You doing some book signings in Harlem? We ready?
Well, I can't do a book sign. I can't do a book signing because of the fact
The
that,
number of COVID. Yeah.
oh no, not even that. Not even that. It's a short, so
Okay.
there's no paperback,
Got it. It's
right?
electronic. Yeah.
So I'm working on a campaign right now for the book
Okay.
to push it on a wider scale, um, and to get that dialogue like really really going.
So
Um,
looking at a virtual event.
yeah,
Nice.
absolutely.
Okay.
Yo,
I'm
you paying
looking for
attention?
my invite out.
Yeah. That's gonna be cool because I want to see some like minds come into space and really kind of,
Right.
interact and talk and kind of, you know, have moments of people who were afraid to be able to come
Right.
through and be like, you know what?
Right. A lot of people are very surprised when I say I was Muslim when I first had started my family. And they're like, it's like you're looking at profit and you're doing too much. I'm still
Yeah.
a person. Like my seminary degree was an interfaith seminary degree. So I love these conversations. They are
Nice,
natural for me.
nice,
Amazing.
nice.
It's amazing.
Now,
I'm
but it's a
happy.
part of the journey anyway. How do you get to a place of understanding if you're not like getting information from different sources?
Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Keep doing what you're doing too. It's good stuff.
Good stuff. And we keep sharpening each other.
Absolutely. Necessary, very necessary.
Yeah, right.